Hello and welcome to the Rules of Investing. I'm your host, David Thornton. This is a bit of a break in regular programming to let you all in on something very exciting that's been boiling away here at Livewire Markets. After 4 years on the sideline, thanks COVID, Livewire Live is back. We're also thrilled that Bell Direct is back on board as principal sponsor. I'm joined on the desk with Livewire co-founder James Marley to discuss what the event's all about, who's speaking, and how listeners of the Rules of Investing can get involved. Jimmy, you've been extremely busy these past few months, beavering away behind the scenes, putting this event together. Let's start at the bottom and work our way up. What is Livewire Live?
G'day, Dave. Thanks for having me on the podcast, and g'day to all of you Rules of Investing devotees. I hope you've been enjoying the podcast. As you mentioned, Dave, Livewire Live is back. We last ran the event in 2019, and it's a single-day investing event, much like the content you get on Livewire. It features the best fund managers in Australia, plus some international guests. And it's all about finding out what they think is going on in markets, how they're positioning their portfolios, how they're allocating capital, and the opportunities that they're seeing. Starts at 11 o'clock in the morning, goes till 4:30 in the afternoon, lunch break, cup of tea for afternoon tea, and a few beers or champagne or heaps normals, whatever's your flavour in the after the event.
Sounds like my kind of day. What can attendees expect to get out of the event, and who will be delivering the insights?
Well, like everything we do at Livewire, the whole proposition here is to put ourselves in the shoes or the seats of investors and try and think about the problems they're trying to solve with their investing, the questions they're asking about what's going on in markets. So that's what we'll be focused on, make it all about the people that are attending in the room. Like Livewire tries to do, and in typical fashion, we'll be trying to add a little bit of sizzle with the format, so make it fun, make the formats engaging, and make sure that the presenters that we have in the room are absolutely top class. And I'll run through some of the names in the lineup, but we literally have the best investors in Australia coming along to answer these questions. So it's going to be a cracking event from that perspective. You know, in terms of the sessions, we've got 3 panel sessions, a big picture session, which is really talking about how the investing environment has changed after this really quick ramp up in interest rates. That'll be moderated by Hans Lee, feature Andrew Clifford from Platinum, Martin Conlon, who's the head of Australian Equities at Schroders, Alex Ventelon, who's head of research and investment strategy at Morgan Stanley, to bring that full portfolio and asset allocation perspective. And we've also got Deanna Messina from AMP Capital, who is a really bright up-and-coming economics talent. So I think she'll bring some great big-picture perspective as well. If we move on to the Australian Equities panel, it's being hosted by crowd favourite Matthew Kidman, who is extraordinaire when it comes to moderating panels. We're looking at opportunities beyond houses and holes on the ASX. As everyone knows, the market here is dominated by banks and miners. Is that a strength? Is that a weakness? And we're going to be looking at some of the opportunities outside of those portfolio stalwarts. We'll be fresh off the back of reporting season. So our managers on this front are going to be loaded with insights. And when I read through this panel, I think it shows it's just absolutely top-tier talent with Mark Landau from L1, Hall of Famer Matt Williams from Airlie Funds Management, Tim Carlton from AusCap, who's been punching out some incredible numbers there at that fund, and Phil King, who's just an absolute doyen of the market. I'm thrilled Phil from Regal Funds Management is going to be on the show. So that's the Australian Equities panel. As I mentioned, Matt Kidman will be hosting that. He's also going to be sitting down with Robert Millner, who's the chairman at Washington H. Soul Patts. If you look through the archives of Rules of Investing, there's a great interview with Rob. I was looking at some numbers on Soul Patts. They've compounded at 15.2% per annum for 40 years, which is just incredible. And he's going to be talking about how they're positioning their portfolio, hopefully I'm sure they want to replicate those returns going forward. We've got a lunch break, and then in the afternoon, I've got an international guest coming from Silicon Valley or from San Francisco. It's not a name you'll be familiar with. His name's Bobby Yazdani, but he is a real tech visionary and spends a lot of time thinking about what trends are going to play out over the next 5 years. And then the Global Equities panel, we've got a couple of great names there, Nick Griffin from Munro Partners, Mary Manning from Alphinity, and Jacob Mitchell from Antipodes Partners. The theme there is overhyped or underrated. And I think in global markets, we often hear about these huge, big names, you know, the Magnificent Seven with your Microsofts, your Apples, your Teslas, Nvidias. We want to find out which ones of these companies are overhyped, underrated. We'll be touching on things like the energy transition. Why can't we make money out of renewable energy? How do you get exposure to that theme? So that's going to be an interesting one. And then to finish the event, this was the most popular session in 2019. We've got 6 managers lining up to give a shocking prediction about what's going to happen in 2024. So Kate McLean from Fidelity, David Allen from Plato Investment Management, Danya Zinarova from WAM Alternative Assets, Andrew McKee from Elston Asset Management, Marcus Burns from Spheria, and we've got the king of predictions, Chris Joye, is going to be delivering what will undoubtedly be a cracking prediction. So that's a bit of an overview of the event. In terms of what people in the room are going to get, I think they're going to get a lot of insights. They're going to get fresh ideas. They're going to get the opportunity to speak directly with these investors and ask their own questions because it's going to be interactive in the format.
Wow, literally something.
I'm out of breath.
Literally something for everyone. You're not going to get this kind of talent in the one room anywhere else. How much are tickets and how do listeners grab a hold of theirs?
Okay, well, at the time of speaking, I think there's 53 tickets left. Tickets are $250. It gets you entrance to the event. It gives you, access to the lunch, the afternoon tea, and the drinks event afterwards. There's a bunch of special event content that'll be created, and ticket holders get access to that. That's exclusive content just for ticket holders. So you go to the Eventbrite page, Livewire Live 2023, or if you go to the Livewire website, you'll see there's a Livewire Live tab sitting in the top navigation bar. Go there and that'll direct you through to ticket sales.
Amazing, Jimmy. I, for one, am counting down the days. As you said, for more details of the event and to purchase tickets, hit up Eventbrite or livewiremarkets.com. Hope to see you all there.
Hope to see you there as well. And thanks again for listening to The Rules of Investing and have a good day.